Odd little man.
I've grown rather fond of him. He's quite talented, you know.
Hmm. What symptoms?
Hmm. Symptoms that are not of your concern.
You let him touch you?
You jealous?
No. Surprised, actually. You never let Pycelle anywhere near you.
You think I'd let that old lecher put his hands on me? Smells like a dead cat.
I'm, uh, I'm not sure if I've ever smelled a dead cat.
Oh, they smell like Pycelle.
Drink more than you used to?
Yes.
Why?
Hmm. Let's see. You started a brawl in the streets with Ned Stark and disappeared from the capital. My husband died in a tragic hunting accident.
Oh, I'm sure that must have been very traumatic for you.
My only daughter was shipped off to Dorne. We suffered through a
A
siege.
rather short siege.
Rather a short siege that I didn't expect to survive. And now I'm marrying my eldest son to a wicked little bitch from Highgarden while I'm supposed to marry her brother, a renowned pillow biter. So,
You know, Father disowned me today.
he can't disown you. You're all he's got.
You're forgetting Tyrion.
Hmm. You don't really plan on staying in the Kingsguard, do you?
Staying in the Kingsguard means I get to live right here, in the Red Keep, with you. Come on, come here. Come on.
Not now.
What? Not now. When? I've been back for weeks. Something's changed.
Everything's changed. You come back here after all this time with no apologies and just expect everything to be the same
What do you want me to apologize for?
for leaving me.
You think I wanted to be taken captive?
I don't know what you wanted. You weren't here. You left me alone.
Every day. I plotted my escape every day. Hey, I murdered people so I could be here with you.
You took too long.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you took too long.
Go away!
Come in.
There she is.
Yes, there she is. And?
You made a promise.
To return the Stark Girls to their mother, who is now dead.
Don't you mock me.
Well, Arya Stark hasn't been seen since her father was killed. Where do you think she is? My money's on dead. There's a certain safety in death, wouldn't you say? And Sansa Stark is now Sansa Lannister. Bit of a complication on that one.
Complication doesn't release you from a vow.
What do you want me to do? Kidnap my sister-in-law and take her where? Where do you think she'd be safer than here?
Look me in the eye and tell me that she would really be safe here.
Are you sure we're not related? Because ever since I've returned, every Lannister I know has been a miserable pain in my ass. Maybe you're a Lannister too. You've got the hair for it, not the looks.
Well, my dear. So you left the convent for good.
Yes, madame.
And how are you adapting to the outside world?
Very well, I think. I'm so excited to have my own bedroom and dressing room.
I've advised her to wash and learn and be quiet except when spoken to. She's very naturally still prone to confusion. Yesterday she was under the impression my shoemaker had come for dinner.
It wasn't that, Maman. It was when he fell to his knees and caught hold of my foot. It startled me.
No doubt you thought she was attempting to propose marriage. Never mind, my dear. You'll soon get used to it. We must see what we can devise for your amusement. Very well, show him up. Valmont is here.
You receive him, do you?
Yes, so do you.
I thought perhaps that under the circumstances...
Under what circumstances? I don't believe I have grounds for self-reproach.
On the contrary, as far as I know, you're virtually unique in that respect.
And of course, if I had, he would no longer be calling on me.
Monsieur le Vicomte de Valmont, my child, whom you very probably don't remember, except that he is conspicuously charming. Never opens his mouth without first calculating what damage he can do.
Then why do you receive him, Maman?
Everyone receives him. He has a distinguished name, a large fortune, and a very pleasant manner. You'll soon find that society is riddled with such inconsistencies. We're all aware of them, we all deplore them, and in the end, we all accommodate to them. Besides which, people are quite rightly afraid to provoke his malice. No one has the slightest respect for him, but everyone is very nice to him.
Madame.
Vicomte.
What a pleasant surprise.
How delightful to see you, madame.
You remember my daughter, Cecile?
Well, indeed, but who could have foretold she would flower so gracefully? I wanted to call on you before leaving the city.
I'm not sure we can allow that. Why should you want to leave?
Paris in August, you know. And it's time I paid a visit to my old aunt. I have neglected her disgracefully.
I approve of your aunt. She takes a kind of intelligent interest in the young. She's been able to maintain a kind of usefulness of her own. All the same.
Will you please give Madame de Rosemont our warmest regards? She's been good enough to invite us to stay at the chateau, and I hope perhaps later in the season.
I shall make a point of it, madame. Please don't let me interrupt your game.
I think I may have lost enough for this evening.
Your daughter evidently finds our conversation intriguing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
think it's time we took you home.
I'm used to being asleep by 9 at the convent.
So I should hope.
Au revoir.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Au revoir, madame.
Hope to see you again
Adieu.
soon. Au revoir.
Do you know why I summoned you here this evening?
I'd hoped it might be for the pleasure of my company.
I need you to carry out a heroic enterprise. Something for your memoirs.
I don't know when I shall ever find the time to write my memoirs.
Then I'll write them. You remember when Janke left me?
Yes.
And went off with that fat mistress of yours, whose name escapes me?
Yes.
No one has ever done that to me before. Or to you, I imagine.
I was quite relieved to be rid of her, frankly.
No, you weren't. One of Janke's more crass and boring topics of conversation was what exactly he would look for in a wife. What qualities, when the moment came for him, as he put it, to settle down.
Yes.
He had a ludicrous theory that blondes were more inherently modest and respectable than any other species of girl. And he was also unshakably prejudiced in favor of convent education. And now he's found an ideal candidate.
Cecile Volanges.
Very good.
And there are 60,000 a year. That must have played some part in his calculations.
I tell you, if she were an uncloistered brunette, she could be worth twice that and he wouldn't go near her. His priority, you see, is a guaranteed virtue.
I wonder if I'm beginning to guess what it is you're intending to propose.
Janke is with his regiment in Corsica until October. That should give you plenty of time.
You mean to...
She's a rosebud.
You think so?
And he'd get back from honeymoon to find himself the laughing stock of Paris.
Well,
Yes. Love and revenge. Two of your favorites.
no, I can't.
What?
You know how difficult I find it to disobey your orders, but really, I can't.
Why not?
It's too easy. It is. Any one of a dozen men could manage it. I have my reputation to think of.
I think you underestimate her. She's very pretty and she has a rather promising air of languor.
You mean she falls asleep a lot? Well, perhaps your Belleroche is the man for her.
There is someone who's already fallen for her. Young Danceny. He goes round to sing duets with her.
And you think he'd like to try a little close harmony?
Yes, but he's as timid and inexperienced as she is. We couldn't rely on him. So you see, it'll just have to be you.
I hate to disappoint you.
I think you really are going to refuse me, aren't you?
I could see him going to have to tell you everything.
Of course you are.
Yes, well, my trip to the country to visit my more or less immoral aunt. The fact of the matter is, it's the first step towards the most ambitious plan I've ever undertaken.
Well, go on.
You see, my aunt is not on her own just at the moment. She has a young friend staying with her, Madame de Trovel.
Yes?
She is my plan.
You can't mean it.
Why not? To seduce a woman famous for her strict morals, religious fervor, and the happiness of her marriage, what could possibly be more prestigious?
I think there's something very degrading about having a husband for a rival. It's humiliating if you fail, and commonplace if you succeed. Where is he anyway?
He's presiding over some labyrinthine case in Burgundy, which I'm reliably informed will drag on for months.
How old is she?
22.
And she's been married.
2 years.
Even if you succeed, you know what?
What?
All you'll get from her is what she gives her husband. If you make her heart beat faster, it won't be love, it'll be fear. I sometimes wonder about you, Vicomte. How could you make such a fool of yourself over a complete non-entity?
Take care now. You're speaking of the woman
Yes.
I set my heart on. I haven't felt so strongly about anything since you and I were together.
And you're going to pass up this wonderful opportunity for revenge.
If I have to.
You don't have to. I won't tell anyone about this bizarre aberration of yours.
I have no intention of breaking down her prejudices. I want her to believe in God, in virtue, and the sanctity of marriage, and still not be able to help herself. I want the excitement of watching her betray everything that's important to her. Surely you understand that. I thought betrayal was your favorite word.
No. No. Cruelty, I think, has a nobler ring to it.
You're terrible. You're 100 times worse than I'll ever be. Since we started this little mission, you've made many more converts than I have. You make me feel like an amateur.
And so you are. Really, you just might as well be in love.
Well, if love is not being able to think of anything else all day or dream of anyone else all night, perhaps I am.
Love is something you use, not something you fall into, like quicksand. Don't you remember?
How is Belleroche?
Well, he is in love. I thought it might be time to end it last week.
And he's currently only lover?
Yes.
I think you should take another. I think it most unhealthy, this exclusivity.
You're not jealous, are you?
Well, of course I am. Belleroche is completely undeserving.
I thought he was one of your closest friends.
Exactly. So I know what I'm talking about. Now, I think you should organize an infidelity. With me, for example.
But we decided it was far more important to preserve our friendship and to be able to trust each other implicitly.
I have to be true to my profession.
Well, in that case, come back when you've succeeded with Madame de Trovel,
Yes?
and I will offer you a reward.
My love.
But I shall require proof,
Certainly.
written proof,
Ah.
not negotiable.
I'm only sorry you haven't sufficient confidence in me to give me my reward in advance.
Good night, Vicomte.
you scribble, Jeff? A list of your debts?
Tales of knights and nobles. In Latin, of course. I call them the Bristol Tales. It's one of the reasons I travel, what? To observe a higher human activity.
Jeff,
Yes, sire?
I need you to write a letter
A letter? To who?
to Jocelyn. Make it, Dear Jocelyn. And then add a part about her beauty and how her eyes are amazing and a poem or two.
A love letter, then?
No, a bill full of loggings and beer.
Finish it with a bit to bring a tear and melt her heart, all right?
No, I won't. Not a love letter.
William, if you like, I'll kick Master Jeff until he agrees.
Kick me, fong me, I won't do it.
Fine. Will you scribble it for me at least?
Yes. On parchment?
What else?
Vellum. Parchment is for edicts, decrees, and death warrants. Vellum is for Bibles, pardons, and love letters. Scented, of course. I have one sheet.
Yes, vellum then. My dearest Jocelyn, I miss you. Hold. Is that not good?
It's your love letter.
Write something about her bosom.
Ah, yes, her bosom.
Think above her bosom, William.
I miss her throat.
Higher, to the heavens.
The moon, at least. Her bosom was not that impressive.
The moon. It is strange to think I haven't seen you since a month. I have seen the new moon, but I have not seen you. I've seen sunsets and sunrises, but nothing of your beautiful face.
Very good, William.
I once knew a girl that broke my heart. I used to say that the pieces were so small that
The pieces of my shattered heart could be passed through the eye of a needle. He writes as though I had died.
Yes, madam. He dies as well. She used to cook for the Duke of York, and I missed her, like the sun misses the flower.
Like the sun misses the flowers in the depths of winter.
Instead of beauty to direct its light to, the heart hardens like the frozen world your absence has banished me to. I next compete in the city of Paris. I will find it empty and in winter if you're not there.
I like it. Now to finish it.
With hope. The first man who made my acquaintance told me something I never forgot.
Hope guides me. It is what gets me through the night. The hope that after you're gone from my sight, it will not be the last time I look upon you.
You're poets. All of you.
Finish it with all the love that I possess. William.
You mean Ulrich?
With all the love I possess, I remain yours. The night of your heart. Beneath it all, an unabashed romantic.
My master hoped you might have something to send to him in return.
No Adamer. Did you see her? Did she read the letter?
Yes and yes.
And?
Yes. She's coming to Paris.
Did she give you anything in return? A letter or a token?
Mm-hmm.
Well, give it to me, Watt. She sent a slap? Yes! 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 Hell yes!
This ghastly state of things is what you call Bunburying, I suppose.
Yes, and a perfectly wonderful Bunbury it is. The most wonderful Bunbury I've ever had in my life.
Well, you've no right whatsoever to Bunbury here.
That is absurd. One has a right to Bunbury anywhere one chooses. Every serious Bunburyist knows that.
Serious Bunburyist. Good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants to have any amusement in life. I happen to be serious about Bunburying. What on earth you are serious about? I haven't got the remotest idea. About everything, I should fancy. You have such an absolutely trivial nature.
The only satisfaction I've pulled out of this entire wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. We'll build a run down to the country quite as often as you used to, dear Algie. A very good thing, too.
Your brother is a little off colour, isn't he, dear Jack? He won't be able to disappear to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was, and not a bad thing either.
As for your conduct toward Miss Cardew, I must say that your taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl like that is simply inexcusable. To say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I can see no possible defense at all for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I wanted to be engaged to Gwendolen, that's all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There's certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
I don't think there's much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. It is very vulgar to talk about one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and then maybe their dinner parties.
How can you sit there calmly eating muffins when we are in this horrible trouble? I can't make out. You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter would probably get on my cuffs. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It is the only way to eat them.
I say it's perfectly heartless you're eating muffins at all under the circumstances.
When I am in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I'm in really great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present moment, I'm eating muffins because I am unhappy. Besides, I am particularly fond of muffins.
There's no reason why you should eat them all in that greedy way.
I wish you would have tea cake instead. I don't like tea cake.
Good heavens, I suppose a man made his own muffins in his own garden.
But you have just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
Probably for you under the circumstances. That's a very different thing.
That may be, but the muffins are the same.
Algie, I wish to goodness you would go.
You can't possibly ask me to go without having some dinner. It's absurd. I never go anywhere without my dinner. No one ever does, except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I've already made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:45 under the name of Earnest.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I made arrangements this morning with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:30, and I naturally will take the name of Ernest. Gwendolen would wish it. We can't both be christened Ernest. It's absurd. Besides, I have perfect right to be christened if I like. There is no evidence at all that I've ever been christened by anybody. I should think it extremely probable I never was. And so does Dr. Chasuble. It is entirely different in your case. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I haven't been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That's the important thing.
Quite so. I know my constitution can stand it. If you are not quite sure about your ever having been christened before, I must say I think it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. It might make you very unwell. You can hardly have forgotten that someone very closely connected with you was very nearly carried off this week in Paris with a severe chill.
Yes, but you yourself said a severe chill was not hereditary.
Oh, it usedn't to be, I know. But I dare say it is now. Science is always making wonderful improvements in things.
Oh, that is nonsense. You are always talking nonsense.
Jack! You are at the muffins again! I wish you wouldn't, there are only 2 left!
But I hate tea cake!
Why on earth, then, do you allow tea cake to be served up for your guests? What ideas you have of hospitality?
Algernon, I've already told you to go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
I haven't finished my tea yet. And there are still a few muffins left.